Alrighty guys, welcome back. This is the third and final video for your stoichiometry shelf work. Like I said, you guys can definitely follow along these videos if you need some additional help. Also, you can seek me for a small group. Most likely, while you're watching this video, I will be holding small groups on this shelf work. Alright, so this particular question asks, how many grams of chlorine are required to react completely with 5 moles of sodium to produce sodium chloride? So what you're doing is you're going from moles of sodium to grams of chlorine. So you're going from moles to grams, which in the other video we went from grams to moles. In this case, we're going in the reverse order, right? So what it's asking you is if you have 5 moles of sodium, how many grams of chlorine would you need to make this reaction go? And if you'll notice below, you have 2 moles of sodium react with 1 mole of chlorine. There should be there's an invisible one here, and they produce 2 moles of NaCl, right? Perfect. So what we do is you always start with what you have. You have 5 moles of sodium, and then you're trying to figure out where you're going to go. You're going to go, and you're going to end up with grams of chlorine. So if I look at my little puzzle pieces over here, I know that I have 5 moles of Na to start off. And I know that I'm going from moles to grams. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to convert moles of Na to grams of Na, and then go from there. Right? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So what I do is if I have 5 moles of Na, I know if I have moles of Na on the top, I'm going to have 1 mole of Na, I'm sorry, 2 moles of Na on the bottom. Right? And then I know that I'm trying to go from moles of Na to grams of Cl, right? Or chlorine. So what I'm going to do is, according to my equation over here, I know that for every 2 moles of Na, I have 1 mole of chlorine, right? So what I do is I pick up my 1 mole of chlorine, put it on top. Right? Now moles of Na are crossed off, moles of Na are crossed out, and this is my ratio again, right? 1 to 2. And I know now that I have moles of chlorine, I'm trying to get to grams, right? So I know that in 1 mole of Cl2, there are 70.9 grams of chlorine, right? So the way I got that is if I have moles of Cl2 on the top, I'm going to put moles of Cl2 on the bottom, and I know that 1 mole of Cl2 is equal to 70.9 grams, right? And the way I got that is, if you look at the periodic table of elements, and let me see if I can zoom in here, you'll see that chlorine, right there, has an atomic or a molar mass of 35.5. Now, since you have Cl2, that means you have 2 chlorines. So you're going to do 35.5 times 2, or 35.5 plus 35.5, which will give you 70.9. So now, in the grander scheme of things, I know that I started with 5 moles of Na. I have to convert it using my ratio, right? So I know that according to my balanced equation here, I have 1 mole of Cl2 for every 2 moles of Na. So, and the way you do that, and the way you catch yourself, so that way you don't put 2 moles of Na on the top and 1 mole of Cl2 on the bottom, is you always look at what you start off with. You have moles of Na, and you're going to have moles of Na down here as well. So that way these units cancel off. You have moles of Cl2, and you're trying to get to grams, right? You're not trying to get to moles, you're trying to get to grams. So if you were trying to get to moles, you would just stop here, and this would give you the number of moles of Cl2 you would produce. So because of that, you have to finish the question. And if you have moles of Cl2 on the top, you have moles of Cl2 on the bottom, and then this is the molar mass. And then you just kind of finish it over, and you should get an answer.